It doesn't have to be dramatic. Someone holds a door open at exactly the right moment. A reply comes back sooner than expected. A bill turns out to be less than you'd feared. None of these things, on their own, prove that your whole situation has shifted. But collected over days and weeks, they start to form a different pattern in your mind. One where things can go my way sometimes becomes just as believable as things always fall apart, and eventually more believable, simply because you kept the evidence instead of dismissing it. The second part of her teaching was about what she called closing the door behind you on the old pattern. This is the part people resist the most, because it asks you to stop replaying the old disappointments, not to pretend they didn't happen. Florence wasn't interested in denial, but to stop mentally rehearsing them as proof of what's still to come. Every time you tell the story of how things always fall apart for you, you're not just remembering the past. You're rehearsing the expectation. You're reinforcing the exact frequency that keeps inviting the same outcome. She used to say that the past has no power except the power we give it, by continuing to speak it into the present. That doesn't mean you can't ever talk about hard things that happened. It means noticing when you're telling the story as a fact about your future, instead of as something that already happened and is now over. There's a subtle difference between these two ways of telling the same story, and it's worth sitting with for a moment. That relationship ended badly, and it hurt is simply a fact. It happened, it hurt. That's true. But relationships always end badly for me is a completely different sentence, even though it grew out of the same event. The first one describes something that's finished. The second one describes something you now expect to keep happening. And the mind, hearing it repeated, treats it almost like an instruction. Florence's point wasn't that you should lie about what happened or pretend the hard things didn't hurt. It was that there's a real difference between remembering an event and turning that event into a permanent forecast for your future. And most people, without noticing, drift from one into the other every time they retell the story. Closing the door doesn't mean forgetting. It means letting the story end where it actually ended, instead of quietly extending it forward into every situation that even slightly resembles it. And the third part, the part that ties it all together, was her use of very short, very specific statements, said with the intention of retraining the expectation rather than forcing a feeling. She wasn't asking people to feel amazing before anything had changed. She knew that was unrealistic and honestly, a little dishonest. What she asked for instead was much smaller. Just enough openness to stop bracing. Just enough willingness to consider that this time might be different without needing to be sure of it yet. This is really the heart of what shifts a stuck situation. Not forcing yourself into a fake burst of positivity, but very gently, very repeatedly, giving your mind permission to expect something other than the letdown it's been bracing for. That permission doesn't arrive all at once. It builds, the same way the old expectation built. Slowly, through repetition, until one day it's simply the new default. I think it helps to remember that the old expectation didn't form overnight either. Nobody wakes up one morning already braced for disappointment. It took months, sometimes years, of small moments quietly adding up before probably not became the automatic setting running in the background. Knowing that can actually be a relief because it means you're not broken and you're not doing something wrong by not feeling instantly hopeful again. You're simply in the middle of a process that takes the same kind of repetition to undo that it took to build in the first place. Just repetition pointed in a new direction this time. Some days that will feel easy, and the openness will come naturally. Other days, the old bracing will show up out of habit, and that's completely normal too. It doesn't mean the work isn't working. It just means the old pattern is still fading, the way any well-worn habit fades slowly rather than all at once. The goal was never to feel certain that everything will go perfectly. The goal is simply to stop being so certain that it won't, to leave enough room, even a small amount, for something other than the outcome you've been bracing for. So let's do that together right now. I want you to say these after me, or just let them settle in if you'd rather listen. These aren't meant to convince you that everything is suddenly fixed. They're meant to gently loosen the grip of the old expectation, one line at a time. I am open to a different outcome than the one I've been bracing for. Small good things are already moving toward me, even if I can't see them yet. I release the need to predict how this turns out. I am allowed to expect something better without needing proof first. The old pattern does not get the final say over what happens next. I notice the small evidence of good, and I let it count. I am not behind. I am not stuck. I am simply in the part before the shift. My past does not determine what is still possible for me. I give myself permission to hope again, even just a little. Divine timing is not the same as no timing at all. What is meant for me cannot be permanently blocked, only delayed. I stop rehearsing the disappointment, and I make room for something new. I am willing to be surprised. Something is moving, even in the stillness. I trust that the shift is closer than it feels. Let those settle for a moment before we move on. Here's what I want you to take away from this, more than anything else. Feeling stuck is not a life sentence, and it's not proof that you did something wrong. It's usually just a mind that got tired of hoping and quietly lowered the bar to protect itself. That's a completely human thing to do. But it's also a pattern you can gently interrupt. Not by forcing yourself to feel differently overnight, but by noticing the small evidence you've been dismissing, by no longer rehearsing the old disappointment as if it were a forecast, and by giving yourself permission, even just a little at a time, to expect something other than what's already happened before. Florence Scovel Shinn spent her whole life telling people the same thing in different ways. Your outer situation is simply following your inner expectation. And the moment your inner expectation shifts, even slightly, the outer situation has no choice but to eventually follow. Nothing you want has stopped being possible. It's just been waiting for you to stop bracing against it, long enough to let it in. And if you find yourself doubting that today, that's fine too. You don't have to believe it completely for it to start working. You just have to be willing to stop arguing against it quite so hard. Willing to notice one small good thing today and let it count. Willing to tell today's version of your story instead of last year's. That's really all this ever asks of you. Not a leap into blind certainty, just a small, repeated willingness to expect a little more than you have been. Do that consistently enough, and the situation that has felt so permanently stuck has a way of quietly starting to move, often in a form you didn't expect and couldn't have planned for, which is usually exactly how Florence said it would happen. If this felt like it was speaking directly to something you've been going through, tell me in the comments what you're choosing to expect differently starting today. And if you want to fall asleep tonight with your mind still settled in this same openness, I have a sleep meditation linked right here that continues exactly this work while you rest.